Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Oh yes, slot tracks. My parents had a business. Well, it was like they're entrepreneurs. Well, my dad was really. I think my mom kind of got dragged along kicking and screaming. But over the course of, well, I'd say a few years of my childhood, they owned a hobby shop. They owned a speedway with a few coin-op video games, and they also owned a hobby stop, which was more the arts and crafts and chocolates and stuff that I really didn't care about. I mean, they had like remote control cars and boats and planes, but it just didn't. I was more into Star Wars figures. Why they couldn't have carried Star Wars figures? Come on, they'd probably still be in business if they carried Star Wars figures. Of course, that was before the prequels, and well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. No matter, I've got a top 5 list here for diecast collecting tips submitted by Matt, also known as My Name is Matt 2, from the chat room at live.pirillo.com. He apparently loves cars. He says diecast cars are things like Hot Wheels, Johnny Lightning, Greenlight, Matchbox, etc. Pretty much any miniature car out there that's made of die-cast metal, which is 99%. In fact, I remember one, and I forever I looked for something like this. There was a die-cast van, like I think it was a Scooby-Doo or a Spider-Man van. If you looked in the back of it, you could see through it, and the light shone through and be like a little picture in the front. And from that point forward, through the rest of my life, every die-cast van that I've seen, I pick up and I look through it just to see if I can see anything. Mostly it's just dirt and grime and dust. But I think my parents carried Matchbox. I liked Matchbox cars. I really did. It says, number 1, find a forum related to diecast. I have found one really good one and one really bad one. I cannot name them on this list because I would be advertising. But chances are, if you join a forum, you'll find these two really quickly. Finding a forum about diecast is one of the most important tips I will share with you. Talking among fellow collectors and playing show and tell can be an extremely good experience, can even fuel your love of diecast even more. Make sure you find a good forum or community because you don't want to be stuck in a community of haters and idiots. And I think that's really what YouTube is wonderful for, to show something off in a video and, well, I don't know what you do with diecast. I don't know how you collect diecast, really. You'd probably take them out of the box. I mean, that's half the fun. I was a horrible collector. I mean, I always wanted to unwrap everything. What's the point of having something that's, boxed up? I mean, my parents kept me in a bubble up until the age of 24. That was no fun. Number 2, know your abbreviations and phrases. All you need to do is to go onto a diecast forum and casually ask what an abbreviation or phrase means when you see it. Knowing these is a very helpful way of getting your point across while also saving space. For example, HW means, any guesses there? Diecast, HW, Hot Wheels, maybe. Even it's Hot Wheels. I'm not into diecast, and I can tell you. Chase car means a rare car that collectors chase after. JL is Johnny Lightning, etc. Number 3, get to know your chase cars. Just about every diecast community, or company, I should say, has its own car, its own chase car. Whether it be a certain model, make, color, etc., or just one in a series. How much they are worth. For example, Hot Wheels' chase car is called a treasure hunt, and they are typically worth $1 to $30, and come in about 2 per case of 72, depending on what type of treasure hunt it is. Greenlight's chase car is called a green machine, any car with a metallic green paint, and are typically worth anywhere from $30 to $250, and come in about 2% in a run of 5,000. Knowing your chase cars can be the difference between selling them for $30 when you should have gotten $500, and it can also be useful when trading online. Number 4. So if you're a parent out there, by the way, before I get to number 4, if you're a parent and you think all your kids' cars are junk, don't sell them for pennies on the dollar. Do your research on collectibles. Of course, now all my Star Wars figures are worth nothing. Anybody want some Star Wars figures? I've got like a couple unopened crates from the new series, and I don't know how to get rid of them. I seriously, I mean, like VATS, unopened Star Wars figures that I don't want anymore, and I have to sell them. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll sell my Star Wars figures And that's how I can make a living. Not much of a living, but... Number 4, know your vintage cars and how much they're worth. If you go antique shopping, sometimes you could find old die-cast cars. If you see one, you need to know how much it's worth and not to get a bad deal. For example, old Hot Wheels are called red lines, also known as RLs, because of the red line around the middle of the tires. These cars, in mint condition, can be worth anywhere from $30,000 to $15,000. And knowing what it's worth can save you from a bad deal. Believe it or not, a collector spent $85,000 on a single red line a few years ago because it was a prototype, pink, red line, and is probably among the rarer things on the planet. Collectors believe there were only about 5 made. Imagine selling someone an old car at a garage sale and then realizing you could have sold it for hundreds, if not thousands more. Number 5, the last tip, attend local diecast shows. I go to one every month in Dallas, and the prices and people there are wonderful. They're nice, and it's great talking to someone that shares my love of diecast. When at a diecast show, stay away from the morning until it closes. In the morning, you might find a certain car that is in high demand. Stay from the morning until it closes. In the morning, you might find a certain car that is in high demand, and you might have only that chance to buy it. And if you stay until closing, the dealers will be wanting to get rid of their stock and will lower their prices, or be in the mood to cut them back. I hope you like the tips and that you gain at least a little bit of knowledge. I certainly did. I don't have any diecast anymore, but out of the entire lines of cars that I ever saw like on the shelves or in toy stores, I was always attracted to the Matchbox cars. I don't know why. I don't think it was the name. I don't know. And the Hot Wheels were okay, but I think I was a Matchbox guy. I don't know. It's for some reason that's sticking out in my mind. I never really got into little, die-cast vehicles. I don't know. Cars never really... Like I said, I lived in a bubble. Like, literally, a physical. I was a bubble boy until the age of 24. No, I wasn't. My parents, kept me in a bubble, but it was more of a mental bubble more than a physical bubble. Either way, I couldn't play with cars because apparently they were from the devil. No, I'm joking. My email address is chris@pirillo.com if you have any other diecast collectors tips. Actually, if we can do more collectors tips, that'd be great. Stamp collecting, coin collecting. What else do people collect? Beanie Baby collecting, belly button lint collecting. No, I'm serious. I saw someone had a belly button lint and it looked like Jerry Garcia on eBay, and it sold for right around $12. So you never know who just might be out there on the internet with you, like me. And I'm streaming my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, typically talking tech at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.